to show you now how to make a slab bowl using a bowl as a mold. So I'm going to use this little white bowl, but really you could use any bowl that you have in the kitchen or that we have in the classroom. It just depends on the size and shape that you want. So I've rolled out a nice slab here. I want it to be very plastic so that it fits the mold. That's especially important when you're doing a bowl because it has to cover a deeper, rounder surface. So I need to know approximately how much clay I need to cover the bowl. So you can do this, I'm doing it with a wire, but you could use string or a ribbon, and I'm just measuring across the whole surface. I'm gonna mark that with my thumbs, and I'm gonna place it on my clay and mark it with my fingers. So I know that it has to be at least that wide. I would trim a little bit wider than that. So then I'm gonna take my bowl and place it in the center, and I'll take my fettling knife, and I know I've got a lot of excess there, of course, because this is square. And I'm gonna leave some extra around the outside, but I'll get fairly close to the markings. And I'm gonna make it a little roundish. So it's very important to elevate the bowl so that the clay is gonna drape off the sides. You just use whatever you have if you're doing this at home. Some cans are fine, anything that's gonna elevate it. And the next thing you're gonna do is take your clay and aim to get it as close to the center of your bowl as possible, and you're gonna drape it on top. So we're gonna work with gravity and with very gentle pressure with our hands and also with the sponge. If I just go really quickly and place this down, I'm gonna end up with folds in 4 points, and I don't want that. I want it to fit really nicely the shape of the bowl. And so just gentle pressure. And if you have a little lazy Susan, it's actually quite a sexist term, if you have a turntable, let's call it, that's really helpful, but you don't have to have one. So I'm just gonna go around. If you're pushing, if I've pushed down on this side, if I then just go to this side and push, it's gonna push the other side back up. So you need to make sure that you're holding both sides as you push down. And it will take a little while to get it. I'm just placing gentle pressure. And you just keep working it. And again, this is why you want your clay to be really plastic. And I can feel like this part is right down to the bottom. So I'm just gonna keep working that. Rotate it around. I'm using my whole hand. I can measure where it is. So this is the bottom, and this is where it's molded. So I still have a little bit more to go. And we're nearly there. The deeper the bowl is, the longer it takes. So you just take your time with it. There's no rush. So I'm pretty close now. I'm gonna do a check again, just a little further there. Well, that's about it. right, so now, because it's elevated, it makes it a lot easier to do this. So now I'm gonna trim. So just remember, just like we did with the plates, you're using the mold as a guide when you're cutting. Okay, and very slow. You don't want to saw in and out. So I'm just doing it gently all the way around. Make a really nice cut there. My bowl is slipping a little bit on the jars. Okay. And we're nearly there. Yay. Okay. And the excess clay, of course, you can reserve for other things. And before I wrap this, I'm just, I've got a little bit of cracking here, and I'm just going to use my sponge to smooth everything out. I'll be able to do some refining later, but I'm just gonna do a little bit while it's still in that very plastic state. And then I'm going to wrap it and wait until it is leather hard so that it can come off the mold without losing its shape. Okay, so I'm gonna set this one aside, and just like magic, I'll have another one that's ready to come off the bowl. So I'm gonna unwrap it. This is now leather hard, so if I take it off like this, it keeps its shape. So I will just rest this down here. And now I can do some really nice refining of the bowl. So I can use a variety of tools to smooth the edges. I can use my wooden rib just to soften and smooth. The inside is ridged because my bowl was ridged. I can keep that if I like. Or I can use a variety of tools like the wooden rib or the metal rib to smooth that part as well, to get rid of the ridges. This will be nice and smooth. Just remember always when you're doing things like this to support from the opposite side. So you can see then that smooths it out really nicely, and it's very easy to do. So then I would just keep working on refining that. Now you can see that because there is a groove, a little foot at the bottom of the bowl, I have an indentation in the center. I may not want that, I might not mind, but I may not want that. So what I can do is just take some very soft clay, just like really what we did with the mugs. Take some nice soft clay, and I can put, actually that's a little too wide, just need a thin one. And I can put this little coil around the bottom and just blend it in. And then I'll have a nice smooth interior for it. So I'm just gonna use my finger initially, then I can use some of the other wooden tools. And just like always, once you've smoothed it in, you won't even know that there was a coil there, okay? It'll look like it was always flat in that way. So you can see that. Just use a variety of your tools to smooth out. Okay, and you just blend it in like that. And I would keep working on the outside here because it's still fairly uneven. And if you decide you want to do some additive and subtractive work, this is a good time to do it for decorating. Okay, and those are the essential steps. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to put a little foot on the bowl and a foot on the plate that you're doing.